Yeah, so you want to reset? Alright, I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna refresh right now. And then we should. Okay, and then we should just be lined up.
I just want you to know we're both on mic right now. So.
Oh, we are?
Yes, we are.
You can't like mute it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
the
quite
conversation.
It's quite unfortunate that everybody can just hear us right now.
Conversation between us is only supposed to be between us, baby.
Well, I mean, we got here just in time. I mean, 7 minutes to the start of the second set, so...
Okay, yeah, and so right now it's showing me WE, Gigabyte, and YG. Do you have that on your screen? And like the kills and the... Okay, we should be fine then.
We should be good to go, but that was a pretty good set, though.
And and the MVP is Wei Xiao.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
It's hard to tell if it was well-deserved by him. I mean, I think Sin on the Lee Sin...
Oh, wait, shouldn't we reintroduce ourselves first? Are we starting officially?
You know what? Let's start officially. Let's go for this. All right, I got us. I got our backs. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our Tencent LPL coverage brought to you by Ghost of Gamers and Games in Asia. I am Nick Yako with the one and only Souldra, also known as Hugh Bo, and we're bringing this action up here for funsies. So we had one set between World Elite and Young Glory. World Elite took a 2-0 win in that set of two. Now we get the more hyped-up match of the day, OMG versus Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, really quickly back to that World Elite Young Glory set, though. World Elite did sweep Young Glory, so they took the full 3 points out of that set. And as you did see, Wei Xiao was the MVP of that second game, despite getting caught out a few times in that game, I thought. However, he did, I think I saw the numbers on the chart, he did do a lot of damage. And, his positioning in team fights was really critical. At least in the early drain fights, he landed a ton of culling damage. He always seemed to find angles to put damage into the back line. And he just did his job in a composition that was designed to protect Wei Xiao and nurture Wei Xiao's Lucian into that really powerful state around 20 to 25 minutes into the game before Young Glory surrendered after getting aced next to the Baron Pit. So really clean game coming out of World Elite, and I'm really excited looking forward into this Invictus Gaming OMG matchup. I mean, this is probably, for me at least, either OMG and EDG or this game is probably the biggest matchup of the week, to me, personally.
This is going to be big. OMG is falling a little bit in the standings, although it hasn't been too long of the league yet, but they are falling down. They are not in that tie-out for first place, so if Invictus Gaming win this, they'll be tied with WE for outright first, but OMG, if they want to kind of stay up there really quick for a while, they definitely need a decisive win here.
Yeah, I mean, these points are pretty critical for OMG because, as I mentioned before, they've already tied, so they split 1-1 with both Edward Gaming, EDG, and World Elite, WE, in their previous 2 games. So OMG, I mean, if they really want to, showcase their dominance, showcase their strength that made them such a contender last split, then I think a 2-0 here is pretty critical, but it's going to be really hard against this Invictus Gaming team that for the most part has looked really good.
So we're looking over the picks, so we could probably go over the lineups for this one. So it's going to be Invictus Gaming, Young Su, top lane, Illusion in the jungles, a tie mid with Kid and Kitties at AD carry and support.
I mean, every member of this team has been performing very well. I think right now, the way some of the other mid laners are looking in China, Zitai is the best mid laner in China at this current point, and he is playing so well, really aggressively, and he and Illusions just synergize extremely well. They're always able to put pressure on in the opponent's jungle, always seem to be able to roam around the map, and they play exquisitely. We see Kid here. Kid has also been playing fairly well. He has picked Twitch for his last 3 games, so I believe all of his games in the LPL, and he has been playing as well as Kitties. They've been, even though their laning is just okay these days, I saw more last split. Their team fighting is really on point. Kitties especially. I mean, when he gets thrashed, he's just dangerous. So look for them to try to prioritize that support pick. But I really want to go back to the top laner, Youngsu, because Youngsu, his most played champion, I believe so far, is that top Gragas. And he hasn't really. Well, maybe I might be judging him too harshly just because some of the other Koreans in China right now are playing so well, but Youngsu hasn't really blown me away, and that's a problem because towards the final games of the last LPL split, PDD really blew me away with his strong laning, with his carry champions. So in the event that Youngsu doesn't step up, you really have to question. Of course, PDD does have health problems, but you really have to question whether this is the correct pickup, given that Youngsu was a relative no-name back in Korea.
So now we get to look at the OMG side of the roster. So going for them, top lane going, Jungle, Drug, and then the mid lane Cool coming back in, and then San and Cloud AD carrying support.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud and San didn't play very well in their past few games. San's Twitch is better than his Lucian, but he performed adequately on Lucian. I really want to put the spotlight for a minute, however, on Cloud, because Cloud did replace Dada, and Dada replaced Pomelo, so even though Dada was here for a week, you really do have to compare whether Cloud is an upgrade over Pomelo, and at this point, not really, I have to say, because Cloud makes some really flagrant mistakes both in lane and in team fights. So Cloud, I don't know if he still is, but I think about a week ago he was the ranked 1 player in China. And, many thousands of people play the game in China, and he was ranked 1 in the challenger ladder. So obviously he's a very good support, but I hopefully we can see a little bit more out of him as he develops synergy with with San. And then of course the strength of OMG has traditionally been its solo lanes in the jungle. Drug, formerly Allen, formerly Loveland, he's been playing pretty well. His Lee Sin is almost always ban-worthy against him, and I thought he played well on Elise, even though a few of my colleagues would argue differently. And going, just that rock in the top lane, I thought he was the best top laner last split, and even though you can make an argue for Koro 1 on the side of Edward Gaming, but Going always performs very well, team fights correctly, lanes correctly, barely ever dies in lane, is always able to maximize his advantages and capitalize on all the opportunities presented to him. Very creative top laner at times, and so hopefully we see Going perform well in this crucial match despite, some lackluster performances in the past 2 games.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're into picks and bans now of this second set between IG and OMG. So we'll see if IG can retain that first place tie with WE, or else OMG can climb back up the rankings. Looking at our bans right off the bat, Ziggs down, Cassidy as well. Definitely targeting out the mid lane. This time around it's Zatai and Cool.
I mean, yeah, if you're a member of OMG, you really do want to take out the Ziggs and Jax, just because OMG is so used to playing those champions that don't necessarily, are both bullies in the early game and scale extremely well. You don't want to give Jax to Going, because Going is deadly on that Jax. On the red side, the standard bans, the standard support, Braum, standard Kayle ban, standard Kassadin. So really, this leaves IG to pick up anything that they want to, and you wonder if they will pick the Lulu or the Gragas here, but they also might consider going with Thresh or Twitch, because those are big priorities right now. And remember, Kid has played Twitch in his past 3 games, so clearly comfortable in that champion, at least for another 2 weeks while we still are on 4.9.
Youngsu also has 2 games under his belt of top lane Gragas, so might maybe go for that one again. Maybe they'll develop a composition. They have a lot at their disposal with his first pick. It's all going to come down pretty much to what they so choose. So 8 seconds, take it away. They could go for a top, and it looks like Lulu left open, going to be their first pick of choice.
Yeah, top lane Lulu makes a lot of sense here, even though you are giving up Thresh to Cloud, and, we mentioned before, Cloud was the number 1 ranked challenger player, and you don't get to that position without being a mechanical god, basically, and Thresh is the perfect champion for that. So, on the other side, top Lulu for Youngsu. Youngsu's played Lulu before, and he's performed quite well on it. Again, it's another flex pick. You can scout out the competition. However, with ZZ Tai coming in, this might be quite a problem. I actually have to get the phone. So
have a good phone call. So Jarvan is locked in as well. Yasuo going to be a quick and easy lock for Zatai. Zatai is in love with assassins. He loves these types of champions. He knows exactly how to play them. And even against Yasuos, he likes to do that fun time Renekton. He plays a lot of unorthodox things like Renekton or Xerath. So all the fun stuff. But Yasuo is going to be the lock. Twitch as well being hovered over for Kid. And it's just a case of wondering what they will go. They will take up the Twitch. And now the lane setup's looking rather nice for IG.
Yeah, ZZ Tai's Yasuo is freaking dirty, basically. I mean, this guy really knows how to play the swordsman.
Dirty.
He is, I mean, I think that's an understatement as well. He's so good. You know, you're synergizing that with the top Lulu. ZZ Tai is really going to have to rely on Youngsu to, you know, maximize the effect of that wild growth. However, you know, IG has had a track record of success with this Twitch, with Yasuo, with Lulu. They're getting everything they want to right here, and they know that they can perform well with these champions.
So, leaving left open now. LeBlanc was left available. San as well with the Lucian. He's played Lucian a lot recently, if I do say so myself.
San's past 3 games have been on Lucian. You know, when you have champions like Jarvan 4, you know, LeBlanc on your side of the map, and Thresh as well, then you really do want a hero you really do want an AD carry hero that can, you know, kite for himself relatively well, and Lucian is just, you know, a standard power pick right now. A standard red side power pick because blue side usually does get the early Twitch. So, I mean, you know, it's really standard picks and bans coming out right now. There's nothing surprising. I think, you know, the biggest thing would definitely have to be this Nocturne. And I mean, Nocturne, Illusion has played a lot of Nocturne in the past. I don't know about recently because I haven't seen a lot of IG's games, but Illusion has played a lot of Nocturne in his career. And again, this just puts more pressure on Youngsu to hit the right targets to maximize the effect of that wild growth, to proc Last Breath on ZZ Tai's Yasuo, and to really try to basically help his lanes get to the late game, because IG's composition scales extremely well both in the early and later stages of the game. Now, OMG, they did pick the Soraka top. So this is another double AP composition, so this will really be about Drug, formerly Loveland, formerly Ellen. I feel like I have to keep saying that because
formerly Ellen, formerly Loveland.
Yeah, people, you know, just keep asking the question. So this really will be about Drug trying to lock in as many members as he can in that Cataclysm. You know, going possibly, you know, flashing in, maybe just applying as much magic resistance shred as he can, and then, you know, you have Cool coming in, possibly with the double distortion, you know, just blowing up members on the enemy side of the map. So this composition is all centered around Cool making plays, and who better to leave the fate of your team in than the, you know, large and quite capable hands of Cool. I mean,
he hasn't that big?
Right. I mean, he has pretty nice hands, I'll tell you that. But, you know, Cool hasn't been playing like the best mid laner in China. He hasn't been playing, you know, 2013 spring level. However, he is getting back to form, and you can see constant progression day after day after day. So I predict very good things for Cool, and the question is, of course, will that be good enough to take a game after game off of an Invictus Gaming that has looked very crisp in the past 2 weeks?
Well, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. We're loading onto the Rift, so should be gaming just in under the second. So if I had to guess, I think it's time, my boy, to kind of distinguish a featured matchup out of all this.
Right. The mid lane matchup really has to be the featured matchup. Cool versus ZZ Tai. Probably the first and I would say the best mid laner in China against the rising force right now, just because Cool is coming back from his eye surgery, from that injury, and he's really trying to get it back into form, trying to help lead OMG, you know, get into a strong run right before the Season 4 World Championships, especially since OMG is nearly a lock for the Season 4 World Tournament. So, I mean, again, both in this matchup, Yasuo, LeBlanc and Yasuo really is a skill matchup, and I think we're going to see a lot of, you know, mechanical prowess on display here, and we're going to have to see, you know, whether Cool or ZZ Tai can play better, because these compositions are really centered around the mid laners. Even though, it's actually Youngsu's playing the top Yasuo, so I don't necessarily change what my pick. However, IG really has to look for 2v1 lanes with this top Yasuo, unless, you know, Youngsu's going mid. But if that is a top solo lane Yasuo, then and OMG gets the Soraka into a lane with it, then there will be a lot of problems for the side of Invictus Gaming, because, you know, we saw in game
just last series.
We saw in game 2 between World Elite and Young Glory, how strong Ninja's Soraka was against Diangun's Yasuo. So, IG is going to have to do some work in the early game.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the Rift. Now we can question some early aggression. Everybody just kind of chilling up and around. Maybe we'll see some invades, and it looks like IG just potentially waiting to try and catch somebody out, looking and warding. Look at that dance going on. Definitely zooming and having a little bit of fun.
I love that skin so much. The Dragon Tamer Lulu skin.
Yeah.
Just spam the laugh on that every day.
All day.
Oh, this is interesting. So it looks like OMG is predicting an invade here, and they see that their level 1 is pretty good, especially since Cool can take the distortion first, and as well as Going's ability to take the magic resistance shred first, the star call. So their level 1 looks fairly good right here, but it does look like they're just trying to ward off any potential invades, and we might see just a normal normal duo lane start, normal solo lane start for the rest of this game.
Well, looks like no potential invades. I mean,
OMG
are looking for a delayed invade, but the buff is spotted. IG are still waiting. So over the wall and auto attacks in the bush. They're just going to kind of let this one be, but might have to hand it over. IG still going to pick up the blue. OMG may want to go for some kind of fight here, try to bait it out. We'll have to see. But the blue buff is going to be surrendered. It looks like you can see that Illusion just wants to try and potentially get a smite, but it's just not going to happen right now. So OMG with a potential overtake of this blue buff, and it looks like
this is so awkward because both teams committed so many resources to this fight. It looks like both ZZTai and Cool are coming over, and Cool might get killed right here. Oh my goodness!
Giants, ZZTai and Cool mano a mano trying to dash him out with those distortions. ZZTai can't make something happen. Ignite is down. And it does not look like they'll be able to chase the full term. Just laugh spam FTW. But the fight's going to commence on the backside as well. Kids basically find everybody. Yangsu taking a lot of damage. Illusion trying to deal a little bit as well. But Kids just caught so far out of position trying to pop the Summoner Hill. And now Illusion trying to duke it out with Cloud. First blood goes over to the Lucian. And Sand now in a great position to start this one off. But Kid around the back. Kiddies picks up the kill on a going. And now Kid might be out of position as Cool shows up. But Distortion being used up. Not going to take it all the way. But he does it level 2. So 1-1, a 1-for-1 trade. And Cloud actually might go down here. It's just a case of who can persuade this one all the way through. Take it all the way, piercing light. Sand actually forces the flash, and they're just not going to take it anymore. But blue buff over to OMG.
Oh my goodness. So, and Kitty still stays. So the blue buff does go over to OMG. Oh my goodness, this might be another kill right now. Oh man,
Illusion's trying to get it. Cloud's still alive. What? Oh man, who's gonna get it? Flash and Sand picks up the kill. Nicely done, and Cloud's still alive. Well played by OMG.
And San's gonna get all that solo lane experience. Going already has 8 CS, so I mean OMG's looking so good right now. The really unfortunate thing about that fight was that ZZTai actually chased Cool out of lane, and then he stayed around to spam laugh for a little bit. What ZZTai should have done, he should have rotated back towards the blue buff and helped IG win that fight. I mean, Cool was low. Cool was low. He already had blown his Ignite. Yes, he still had his Flash, but he had already blown his Ignite. So ZZTai could have just come back in and tried to change the tide of that fight, but they decided not to. And so now, nearly all of the members of IG are behind. So really, ZZTai, we highlighted this mid matchup, and Cool is just showing a little bit more presence of mind between the two mid laners.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, it opens up to a 1,000 gold lead dang near for OMG right off the bat here. So pretty good start for them, if they don't say so. Got some kills on their AD carry. Definitely pretty good. So Sand's going to be in a great position picking up those two. And now both mid laners duke it out. So like you said, feature matchup might slow down a little bit now, but we got those kills. And, well, Jarvan's pretty far ahead. Drug got his blue buff, got the other blue buff, and he's just setting himself forward very, very well.
Yeah, so it looks like Drug is about to go collect his red buff for that 3-buff start. So I really can't get over the fact that ZZTai decided not to return to his blue buff. I mean, both teams actually had committed so many resources, and you actually saw that it was Cool, despite being down in early health, because he was forced out by ZZTai with that help picks. It was actually Cool that landed the really game fight changing distortion, and after that OMG was able to pick up 2 kills, and the 1 kill that Invictus Gaming did get was onto Kitties. So nothing is going right for IG right now. I mean, what they have to do is they have a composition that scales very well and is very Wombo combo-esque. So they need to make sure that they ward their flanks and have and are able to stall this out while they, wait for that first dragon and see if they can land that, wombo combo that can instantly obliterate all of the squishies on the side of OMG, because there's no real true tank on the OMG lineup, unless you count Jarvan, of course.
So there's a pretty nice split in what IG are doing. They're actually sending Yongsu over to farm some solo by himself in the jungle. Well, Illusion's trying to potentially get a bait, maybe a kill in the bottom lane, but Drug has shown up as well, so this would be an engagement, basically outnumbering.
It's 3v3 right now.
OMG's coming in. Let's see how this one works out. Drug's trying to come from the backside. Kid might be out of position. Gets the knock up into the death sense. That's going to be easily a dead Kid. And that just sounded a little bit weirder the way I said it, but it is going to be a dead Twitch. Oh my goodness. Kitty's now the targeting question. They're trying to go all the way for this one. But going, taking a lot of damage from the turret. He's going to fall to Illusion, but they get a double knock up. And this can actually turn a little bit. Drug picks up Illusion, but at the same time, it's going to be another kill over to the side of IG. Illusion picks a nice one up for himself. 4-3 now, and Drug kind of duking out. Now in the mid lane as well, we get to see Zatai and Cool 1v1. Who's going to win? Cool is on the run, ladies and gentlemen, but Zatai just going to let him be. So 4-3 and almost a solo kill for the Lulu.
Yeah, it looks like I'm a little bit ahead of you again, but just to go back to that fight, that was really poorly played by OMG. They should have just ran away after they got the kill onto the Twitch. I mean, when you get the kill onto Kid, basically you deny him all of the soloing experience that, characterizes the teleport meta, that characterizes the 2v1 swap. So there was no reason to pursue those 2 kills. Fortunately, unfortunately, Illusion, who was actually quite behind, and we might see another play right here.
Oh man, Drug's trying to go for it with a little bit of a shield, picks up the kill on Zatai, but Illusion's here duking him out. Teleport's coming in, and that's going to be Drug definitely going down here. He's not going to make it out. Illusion picks up a kill for himself. Why not make it 3 for a kind of nice one? 3 kills, and they'll zoom in on the dead Jarvan. Today is indeed a good day to die.
We started this game off with Illusion losing his blue buff and Drug starting with a 3-buff start. Now, after that double kill in the bottom lane and that solo kill onto the Jarvan, Illusion now has 3 kills. So even though both junglers are relatively ahead, Illusion had made, just put himself in the right place to really come back after losing, one more buff than he had to after ZZ Time is a mistake. So good on IG to, retain a good sense of where they have to be and how to come back after, a small early loss.
So pretty big now, 5-4, and well, now we're going to see things potentially slow down. No dragons gone by, nearly 8 minutes, 25 seconds in. Last series we saw early dragons going about 4 minutes at the latest, so definitely a little bit of a change of pace here. Things slowing down a little bit.
Right, just because of this, how chaotic this early game has been, and because both of these dual lanes are now meeting in the bottom side of the map, it doesn't look like we're going to see that early, 4 to 5 minute dragon anymore. This San versus Kid matchup is going to be really interesting. Kid is a slightly better laner than San. However, Cloud and San are on very strong laning champions. That Thresh and Lucian, that combination can do a lot of damage. So, we're going to have to see how the bottom lane goes and whether, the mechanical prowess and mechanical, exquisiteness, aptitude, of Kid and Kitties can, push them over the edge against a lane that's, fairly hard in that specific matchup.
And that specific as well, 2 kills already to Sand, so that's just going to increase the difficulty for them trying to progress that lane.
Yeah, we still see Youngsu's not back in lane. This guy's just been, 24/7 farming the jungle, and what else can he do? Just because of how that early game went, he suffered an early deficit versus Go-Going, and then, actually, Kid decides to rotate back towards the top lane. So this is really a really interesting adaptation. We mentioned before whether Kid would be able to take that, would be able to match up against the Lucian, but now it seems like he's going to the top lane. That just opens a free dragon for OMG.
And this would be the first one of the game, so OMG destroying this one pretty quick. It looks like IG don't want any of it, so that'll be the dragon going down. First one of the game, first one of the set, as a matter of fact. And that's going to give a 1.3k gold lead over to OMG.
So that dragon was at 10 minutes, so let's clock it. We can clock that in. And notice how San left the wave exactly in the middle of the map. So that really put Youngsu in a bind right there. He couldn't push it because he would just be zoned out again. And then he couldn't, the other option would be, of course, to wait. But then by the time he waited long enough for the wave to push into his turret, San and Cloud, sorry, were already back into lane. So just OMG is playing this extremely well, and Youngsu being denied so much CS right now.
So it looks like IG want to go for a dive in the top lane onto Going. He's already 0-2 and 3, and if they do get a successful dive off, it would mean the turret, but he will be spotted out by a ward. So Illusion's going to back off and make a play on the enemy red, and Kitties and Kid maybe trying to just shove out the top lane just a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the correct response. The question, of course, is how quickly are San and Cloud going to push down that turret, because OMG is the team that's looking for their early game team fights, and even despite not having a lead anymore, it's really only a 1k gold lead, which doesn't matter in the long run, especially because Invictus Gaming has a wombo combo team fight composition that's not based on extended fighting. OMG really has to, they want to push down the turret, and they really have to look towards what the next objectives are, especially since they took the first dragon of the game. So, the decision-making in the next few minutes is going to be really crucial as to foretelling how the rest of the game is going to go.
So Ty almost getting caught a little bit there, but if I had to guess, the bottom lane tier 1 might be going down quicker than the top lane tier 1, so that would go, OMG would take the first of the game, but it might be a trade. I don't think Gogoing's going to be able to save it. Going actually tanking a lot of damage and a nice paranoia, but Kid's tanking the turret. Will he get it out? Oh, man, Kid just barely makes it out. So Going goes down, and that'll be the turret going down, but it's going to be a 1-to-1 trade. So now Cloud coming in from the backside. Zatai might be caught out of position. Death Sentence actually misses, and he's ignited as well. Drug over the backside to get a nice knockup, but Wild Growth taking it away. Will he be able to get it? Cataclysm to the face. That's going to be Drug picking up the kill.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud... really good on Cloud to have roamed towards the mid lane and look for that kill. So OMG, now they look like they're in a pretty good position to siege down this middle lane turret. And once they do, they're going to really open the map for themselves and then start looking towards Dragon, because the Dragon does come up in about 3 minutes. So they're going to want to take all the advantages on the map, and we might see a kill in the top lane.
Oh, baby. Well, Kid... Baby. Taking some good damage, but it's cool to be Kid. Mono. He actually gets the clone pop. Kid, can he get the outplay? Oh, man, cool. Summoner Hills pop. Will he make it out? That is the question. And that's a nice trade, but Kid almost baited it out successfully. In the mid lane, we get a nice extended fight as well. Youngsu going down to San, and Kiddy's taking some good damage as well. This is an outnumbering from OMG. They want to take this tier 1 down, and looks like they should be able to do it fairly successfully. Illusion trying to hold Kiddy's as well. And they will actually successfully hold it to start, but San, just with the piercing light, he's got 3 kills to his name right now, 13 minutes in. He is big.
If they want to, they'll be able to push it down the next during the next wave, despite the fact that ZTI is down. So Cloud and Drug both, actually Drug stay around. So Cloud and Drug both recall, so it does look like OMG is going to OMG is going to leave that turret up. However, they are all going back to recall right now, which clearly shows that they are preparing for the next dragon. And so when Going takes down this top outer tier turret, that's going to be a nice spiking gold for the team. And remember, again, OMG is the team that has to make a lot of plays in the early game. They have the Soraka, which is supposed to supplement the LeBlanc and the Lucian on the side of OMG. So the Oh My God Gaming, I can't believe I just said that. OMG really has to look towards making early moves. And I think this dragon that's coming up in 2 minutes is the best time to do that. God damn it. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
I'm crying. That was just so perfect. I love you. I love you, Hugo. This is great.
I love you too.
Oh my God. Okay. So now it's 7-5. Go. He's going to clear out a little bit cool as well. They want to take the tier 1 in the mid lane, and it looks like it will be falling down. So 3 turrets to 0, and OMG, pretty good start for themselves here. 7-5. Dragons up in 1 minute and 20 seconds. They're putting themselves in a very, very good position to take that one.
And look at this right now. These are the actions that made OMG the premier, team last split. They have the dragon timer. They clearly know, and they know that their opponents relatively know, but not exactly when the dragons are going to come out. We might see a red buff steal, and this might be a kill onto Kid. This is interesting. 2 teleports coming in as well.
Death Sentence comes in, paranoia as well, and it looks like Kid's actually going to come out. Tidal Wave lands, and Drug's going to get turned up and on. Cataclysm comes in, but Wild Growth secures safety. Kid picks up Drug, and now San's trying to get some kills from the backside, but Youngsu takes down Going, and Cool comes in as well, picks up the kill on the Kid. Youngsu not going to get enough, but nice Aqua Prison. And from the backside, Cloud's going to flash, but he might go down here. Kiddy's the target question, and Sun picks up up another kill. Illusion the targeted question. Now they're trading it up and away. Who's going to get the kill? San goes down to Illusion. Can he make up a kill? Yes, he will. So that's one over to Cool as well, and does a nice job juking, but Zatai with the auto attack picks up the kill. So that's going to be 4 down for IG. Cloud from the backside. Zatai. It's a 4-on-3. Here we go. Jarvan comes up. Cloud execute, and he got it.
And really good on Cloud, avoiding the team fight. That fight would have gone much more differently if Illusion didn't have a really clutch flash outside, from the inner to the outer wall, and basically dodged the second distortion coming out from Cool, because Cool would have killed Cloud had he landed that distortion. So Cool, Illusion was able to dodge the second distortion with the flash and then come back into the fight to finally finish off San. We can see the replay right here. Really nice hook onto Cloud, but it looks like they weren't expecting Illusion to be there, so just a ton of crowd control coming out from the side of Invictus Gaming. San starts cleaning up, but look at this flash right here. Illusion flashes out, barely dodges the distortion, weaves around, and is able to come back in, and that's really the tell of the fight. Had Illusion not come back into the fight, then I think this fight, this would have ended in a clear favor of OMG.
So now we're back in, and Dragon is up and being engaged upon as we finish up the replay. And a fight actually might already commence, if you can see on the bottom left of your screen once we get into the big part. So once this replay ends, we can just wait on the fun time. Just one more, and there it goes. Cool. So now we get to go back into the game and see the good stuff. Dragon being engaged upon, taking some damage. It could be a nice IG versus OMG 5v5 engagement. We will just have to see. And that was an unintentional rhyme, but...
For OMG, they have to go really ham. I mean, ZZ has to land the perfect wild growth onto a few targets right now. Oh my goodness!
Smite, who's gonna get the smite? Smite goes over to the red team, so nicely done. Cataclysm up in the face. Kitty's gonna go down first. Cool picks up the kill. Box goes down for zoning potential. Kid getting targeted, engaged upon. Wild growth is up and in. Drug, that's gonna be Cool picking up the kill on the Kid. Now they're just chasing again. The culling. IG is on the defensive. They are on the run, and it looks like OMG dominating this performance right now. Youngsu and Zatai could be in a bad spot. Going. Going to be able to pick up one. Zatai's down. Youngsu now. And this is going to be an ace. And OMG, ladies and gentlemen, 5-0. Very nicely done.
Oh, really nicely done. So that was all about the zoning from Cool right there. Cool was able to push, the entirety of Invictus Gaming off of the Dragon. OMG was able to take the Dragon and then Drug with a perfect Jarvan J4 combo, able to knock up the entire I think 3 members of IG, and then land the Cataclysm onto Kid. Kid was able to do no damage. He actually does it onto ZZ Tai, and then they start switching onto Kid. So really nice focus fire coming out from the side of OMG. Also, Kitties with his Nami didn't really do much. He hit that Aqua Prism onto one person, and then didn't use the Tidal Wave, even though I believe the Tidal Wave might have been on cooldown. So again, we mentioned before, Invictus Gaming is all about the wombo combo. So if some of the ultimates on the side of IG aren't up, then there's really no point in fighting, because they're automatically going to lose to the elongated teamfight presence of OMG. So IG has to be more aware of what their situations are, communicate a little bit better, and then make sure that when they do want to get into a position to fight, that all of their cooldowns are not up.
I almost feel like what happened in that fight could potentially be attributed to a lack of positioning from Kid, because Cloud just did a fantastic job catching him in the box out of position, and they just got him down very, very quickly. So
I mean, yeah, you're completely right. Despite the shield coming out from Zatai, Kid had no answer. When you have a Twitch on your team, and he's focused down like that, then he becomes basically ineffective. Really, if you're a Kid, you need to have good positioning so you don't get forced out like that. But here we might see another fight.
His potential. Paranoia makes an appearance.
I believe, yeah, so Drug does get the blue buff, so very nice steal from Drug. Illusion was actually not there. It was Youngsu trying to solo the blue buff, possibly to prepare it for Zitai, but Drug does come in, smite that away, so nice blue buff for the side of OMG, just even more objectives. This is what, when you have the LeBlanc, when you have like the nice team fight, a little bit of siege, a little bit of assassination potential, when you have all that team fight potential from in your team composition, really, and you're ahead, really it's about, warding the enemy's jungle, camping their buffs, camping the turrets, going to Dragon right when it comes up, baiting Baron. It's just this is a really clean series of moves coming out from OMG, and I'm really pleased to see it because for the past 2 games we haven't OMG hasn't been very clean. I'm also happy to see Cloud performing very well because Cloud played badly for the past few games.
Well, OMG trying to take down this tier 2,
oh
and they will be able to pick it up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodness.
Cloud from the backside. Good night. Tidal Wave a box on 4. Wild Growth as well, take it up and away. But look at the damage, ladies and gentlemen. Cataclysm to the back line. Cool picks up the kill onto Illusion. The fight's going to recommence. Youngsu on the back has no answer to anything. That's going to be Kittles trying to take down Drug. But look at this kill, ladies and gentlemen. San picks up one, cools the other, and Youngsu is on the run. It's going to be a 4-man death. Can Youngsu go down here? Can Cool pick him up? That is the question. Youngsu might want to try to make a play, but it's 4 down in favor of 2, and OMG with a very, very big win on that fight. Sam wants to pressure the inhib.
And they do get the inhibitor turret, and I believe they are going to get the inhibitor as well. If you missed it, that distortion from Cool killed 2 people nearly instantly, just deleted 2 members of Invictus Gaming off of the map. What a really nice initiate from Cloud. And it initially looked bad for the side of OMG because they lost 2 members, because they lost Cloud extremely early. However, just when you get 3 or 4 people in a box like that, you're really inviting yourself to a lot of pain from Drug and San. And it was just mostly just about San and Drug putting out as much damage as they could, and then Cool just going in and cleaning up. He got that really nice double kill, and he probably would have gotten the triple if he didn't, start doing the red buff. But really nice play coming out of Cool and Cloud to, really clean up that fight. And I believe they did get a bottom lane inhibitor turret for that.
I don't know if this is more crisp rotations from OMG or just a lack of answering from IG to the point that they just can't make it happen.
Well, Kitty's Kitty's Nami has been very ineffectual, but we are going to see a replay right here. Look at that box. All 4 members of IG into the box. Nice Jarvan 4 ultimate, and it's just about, Cool slowly biding his time in the back, and then you're going to see this distortion right here. He's about to come in, and then bam, right here. Nice distortion in. Gets an instant double kill, and just lovely, lovely, lovely play from Cool. Biding his time, waiting for his cooldowns to come back up, and then just deleting members off the map.
OMG is playing very, very well right now. Decisively taking a nice stranglehold over Invictus Gaming right now in this game 1. So remember, it's a set of 2, so anything can happen, but OMG definitely looking very, very strong right now in this one. 20-11 in kills. They have a nice gold lead, and 6-1 in turrets. They're just banging on every single cylinder possible, and they look to potentially want to take this mid inhib.
If we're talking about fast cars, OMG's a Ferrari because they are driving so fast. Honestly, it's we talked about the rotations earlier, and I know I failed that joke, so don't laugh at me. We talked about rotations earlier, and this really is about rotations. OMG knows exactly what their composition is good at. They go for a mix of picks in the enemy side of the jungle as well as tower sieging, using San to capitalize on how good their tower siege is, and they're just splitting up, looking for different turrets to siege down. And they don't even have Baron buff, and they're just seemingly unafraid to go up to these turrets and and start knocking these structures down. The problem with a lot of teams such as World Elite, when we talk about World Elite, we see a lot of times, even though they have light scaling champions in the late game, they seem too afraid to go and siege turrets because they're unsure of exactly how to position around them. But OMG just has so much practice playing well, even though they're in the LPL. They have so much practice playing well around objectives that it's just almost second nature to them. And now it's going to be a free Baron.
Free Baron. IG can do literally nothing. This might just have to be an FF and move on to the next one game. But don't show any signs. So OMG picking up the first Baron of the game. They have a decisive stranglehold on the enemy right now. And they're potentially looking to back and maybe win it. Who knows?
Nick, this is 13,000 gold ahead at 25 minutes. It's not even funny. Yeah, it's not fun anymore. Really, just I really do have to go back to that dragon fight, and the second dragon fight really turned it around because if Kitty's Nami's a champion that really synergizes well with Yasuo, and I'm convinced if Kitty still had all of his cooldowns up, then he would have been able to change the impact of the game a little bit more, at least of that team fight. But Kitty's hasn't been playing very well at all this game, and he did shine a little bit in lane, but I expected a little bit more, especially since he's been looking pretty good for the past few days. So hopefully next time Invictus Gaming does decide to pick a Wombo Combo team composition, they do it with a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more communicatively, but we might see a little pick over here.
Yep, Sand actually might get caught on. He's going to get obliterated now. Going is on the run, ladies and gentlemen. This could be very nice for IG at this point in time, but it could be to the point that they might just be too far behind. Going, trying to kite as much as he possibly can. And it looks like now it's going to be a last breath combination. Illusion picks up the kill and going. Tidewave on the 3, and now we go to the box down. But look at Cool, takes down Kid. He's got so much damage. He has 10 kills now, and Drug wants to re-engage this one. Awkward Prison lands, but Youngsu taking a lot of damage. Oh, man, here we go. Cool for the backside, but spell shield to the face. Cool actually going to get feared up. Ignite takes away, and he gets one Cataclysm, and this is a fight that OMG was outnumbered, and they're still winning. Drug picks up Kitties. Zatai picks up one. It's a shutdown, but even still, oh man, Kid Zatai get it. Cloud 1v1. Who goes? Zatai and Cloud mono a mono. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Death Sentence goes wide right, and it looks like they just might let it happen. Nice laugh spam. A little bit cheeky right now, but 24-15 and OMG still in a fight they were outnumbered. Come back dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be spamming the BM right now because Zatai kind of got he got pooped on basically throughout the game. This game. Really, ZZTie, there was so much more ZZTie could have done, especially in the early game, to try to change, the course of this match. And I'm not even talking about the early, level 1 fight where he didn't arrive back into his own blue, to the blue side jungle after he forced Cool back into his own turret. ZZTie, when you pick the Lulu and you allow your top laner to have Yasuo, you're really telling yourself and your teammates, I can make this Wombo combo work. With the proper ward coverage, with the proper positioning, I really can help Youngsu pull off the last breath combo and just obliterate every single member of the team. Unfortunately, for the side of Invictus Gaming, the ward coverage wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But just both Kid and ZZTie constantly mispositioned around these objectives, and now they're forced, as you can see right now, to hide in bushes to look for picks because that's basically all they can do.
So OMG trying to storm the beaches of IG's base, and this inhibitor's back up. They will try to take this one down. This could potentially be the game-ending push. OMG with a very, very big lead right now, and it would take a lot for IG to be able to rebound this, but the inhibitor goes down, and OMG look to try and push. They have minions coming on all accounts, so they can really do whatever they want right now. Baron buff is still up, like you just said, so clear out some mid-lane waves, and they could potentially push this one and win it. Even
though I think the Baron buff might only be on Cloud, which is kind of funny. But we saw in that previous fight, OMG won a 3v5, on the IG side of the map, so a 5v5 really shouldn't be a problem for them. All Son has to do is just be careful not to get hit by any of the glitter lances or by a last breathing, by a Youngsu taking his last breath, so to speak, because if there is a fight, it really will be the last breath for Invictus Gaming. Yeah, I mean, nerf LeBlanc, haha.
Nerf LeBlanc, ban LeBlanc, cool. Definitely that one's going to be a ban next time. You just have to wonder. So.
The funny thing is, I mean, just talking a little bit more in general, even though we do see going getting potentially forced out here. Oh, this is going to be a fight right now.
Well, the turret goes down, and now going flashing it up, but he's going to probably go down here. So trying to save himself with all he's got, but Illusion picks up the kill. Now Kid trying to duke it out with Drug. This is 3-man. Drug actually caught between a rock and a hard place. 4 members. He's going to fall down. Zatai picks up the kill, but for the backside, the culling as well, so it's an inhibitor. Well, basically a trade. The inhibitor's still alive. The turret goes down, but that is not a trade you want if you're OMG.
I mean,
it might be all she wrote anyway, but...
Yeah, if you're a drug, then I guess, rocks are bad for you. Haha. So...
Where's my golf clap? Where's my GG button?
As I was saying before, I ain't freak. As I was saying before, just this is OMG being a little bit over-ambitious right now, and I'm still pretty confident that OMG can, especially with 2 inhibitor turrets down now, they can go get that mid lane inhibitor and then start thinking about, ending the game, especially if they do get adequate control of this Baron pit. But, to talk a little bit more about the game in general, we do see the Cool Cool onto LeBlanc. I'm actually one of the people that thinks that LeBlanc will still be super overpowered despite the changes to her now renamed Sigil of Malice, because even though the silence was removed on that skill, I think that the utility that makes LeBlanc so powerful is the fact that she can wave clear with her distortion. So if her wave clear wasn't there, then LeBlanc would basically be a really, daintily played, a well-played assassin, despite the fact that her numbers are high. But, nerfing the silence helps, but I don't think it's what LeBlanc needs at this point.
So Baron is up in 50 seconds, Dragon 40. And OMG, this mid lane inhibitor could be their targeting question. That would just be Baron by right to them 100%. So looking to maybe jump into the base a little bit, and OMG could try to take down this naked inhibitor. It's naked without a diaper, and they totally want to progress onto this. The inhibitor's getting melted pretty quick. Death Sentence does not land. Aqua Prison gets dodged out nicely as well. Cool trying to duke it out with Zatai, and it actually comes out as merely an equal trade. So inhibitor's still getting melted, and this could be doomsday. As you can see, Zatai Wild Growth and
Illusion's
Sand.
going in.
Oh man, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna be the paranoia as well. Flashes up and out. Here we go. And Cool trying to get some picks if he can. But Sand just goes all the way to the enemy team. Now the culling. Kitty's very low. That's gonna be another kill. Sand, goodbye, Moon. If OMG is a Ferrari, then IG has to be a Toyota Camry, because Sand just hitting like a truck, and this is going to be the Nexus turret going down. The Nexus soon to be following, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be OMG. Hold on. Take it to the Nexus pool. Kid getting obliterated. And that's going to be Sam picking it up. So the Nexus turret's going to be falling, and this is going to be OMG up 1-0 in this best of 2.
Very well played. I mean, Nick, I really want to go back to the X Factor matchup, we're going to call it. I said that the matchup between Cool and Zizitai would be so important, and it was, because Cool played the LeBlanc very well, knew exactly when he should be coming in. He cleaned up team fights extremely well, and basically in that last fight you really saw Cool's aggressiveness versus some of the mistakes that Zizitai consistently made throughout this game, namely his positioning, because what happened was that Zizitai was bursted down by Cool's LeBlanc, and so he forced a Wild Growth onto himself. So when Illusion went to about a pack of 4, it was a perfect opportunity for the Wild Growth to be used on that Nocturne and for Youngsu to get a 4-man last breath. Unfortunately, because Zizitai mispositioned, he was bursted down and was forced to use his knock-up on himself, and therefore that utility wasn't available for the main fight when Illusion uses Nocturne Paranoia to go into that cluster of OMG players. So really well played by OMG. That was a fairly straightforward game, and I think it really showed a level of class and rotation that we previously haven't seen, at least in the last season of the LPL. If we saw World Elite play with a lot of poise last game, with a lot of je ne sais quoi, but in this game, OMG did the same thing. So if all games in the LPR are really going to be looking like this season, I'm so excited.
Oh man, I tell you what. The question is, though, after this, what does IG have to do to come back and win it up on the Red Trunks?
I think Invictus Gaming is a team that, when they pick really balanced team compositions, they tend to do well. So basically, if you're going to have a top Yasuo, then you really shouldn't be having Kid onto that Twitch. And remember, Kid picked a Twitch before San locked in the Lucian. So I think that they should try to run a team composition that is centered around Kid's Twitch, or maybe whatever AD carry that Kid picks. For example, they could pick the Lulu, they could pick the Shyvana, they could possibly even pick the Nami, despite the fact that Kitty's Nami wasn't very good, and try to play the protect the AD carry composition. So I think that is the direction that IG should decide to go for the next game. And we will be here next game, which I think will be in a few minutes. Nick, do you know the time?
Should be in a few minutes, as a matter of fact, though I do believe we are going to take a quick break in the action, play some advertisements and some music, and then get back to all the action, though. So in the meantime, I'm Nick Yako with Souldra. If you like us, you can follow us on Twitter at the handles at the bottom right of the screen. But otherwise, this is actually the Tencent LPL coverage by Gosu Gamers and Gamers in Asia. So we will be right back playing some advertisements and some music. Thank you for watching.
I still hear your voice when you sleep next to me. I still feel your touch in my dream. Forgive me my weakness, but I don't know why. Without you, it's hard to survive.
Yeah, so you want to reset? Alright, I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna refresh right now. And then we should. Okay, and then we should just be lined up.
I just want you to know we're both on mic right now. So.
Oh, we are?
Yes, we are.
You can't like mute it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
the
quite
conversation.
It's quite unfortunate that everybody can just hear us right now.
Conversation between us is only supposed to be between us, baby.
Well, I mean, we got here just in time. I mean, 7 minutes to the start of the second set, so.
Okay, yeah, and so right now it's showing me WE, Gigabyte, and YG. Do you have that on your screen? And like the kills and the. Okay, we should be fine then.
We should be good to go, but that was a pretty good set, though.
And and the MVP is Wei Xiao.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
It's hard to tell if it was well deserved by him. I mean, I think Sin on the Lee Sin.
Oh wait, shouldn't we reintroduce ourselves first? Are we starting officially?
You know what? Let's start officially. Let's go for this. All right, I got us. I got our backs. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our Tencent LPL coverage brought to you by Ghost Gamers and Games in Asia. I am Nick Yako with the one and only Souldra, also known as Hugh Bo, and we're bringing this action up here for funsies. So we had one set between World Elite and Young Glory. World Elite took a 2-0 win in that set of two. Now we get the more hyped up match of the day, OMG versus Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, really quickly back to that World Elite Young Glory set, though. World Elite did sweep Young Glory, so they took the full 3 points out of that set. And as you did see, Wei Xiao was the MVP of that second game, despite getting caught out a few times in that game, I thought. However, he did, I think I saw the numbers on the chart, he did do a lot of damage, and, his positioning in team fights was really critical. At least in the early dragon fights, he landed a ton of culling damage, he always seemed to find angles to put damage into the back line, and he just did his job in a composition that was designed to protect Wei Xiao and nurture Wei Xiao's Lucian into that really powerful state around 20 to 25 minutes into the game before Young Glory surrendered after getting aced next to the Baron Pit. So really clean game coming out of World Elite, and I'm really excited looking forward into this Invictus Gaming OMG matchup. I mean, this is probably, for me at least, either OMG and EDG or this game is probably the biggest matchup of the week, to me, personally.
This is going to be big. OMG is falling a little bit in the standings, although it hasn't been too long of the league yet, but they are falling down. They are not in that tie-out for first place, so if Invictus Gaming win this, they'll be tied with WE for outright first, but OMG, if they want to kind of stay up there really quick for a while, they definitely need a decisive win here.
Yeah, I mean, these points are pretty critical for OMG because, as I mentioned before, they've already tied, so they split 1-1 with both Edward Gaming, EDG, formerly Loveland, sorry. He's been playing pretty well. His Lee Sin is almost always ban-worthy against him, and I thought he played well on Elise, even though a few of my colleagues would argue differently. And going, just that rock in the top lane, I thought he was the best top laner last split. And even though you can make an argue for Koro 1 on the side of Edward Gaming, but going always performs very well, team fights correctly, lanes correctly, barely ever dies in lane, is always able to maximize his advantages and capitalize on all the opportunities presented to him. Very creative top laner at times, and so hopefully we see going perform well in this crucial match despite some lackluster performances in the past 2 games.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're into picks and bans now of this second set between IG and OMG. So we'll see if IG can retain that first place tie with WE, or else OMG can climb back up the rankings. Looking at our bans right off the bat, Ziggs down, Cassidon as well. Definitely targeting out the mid lane this time around as a tie. and cool.
I mean, yeah, if you're a member of OMG, you really do want to take out the Ziggs and Jacks, just because OMG is so used to playing those champions that don't necessarily, are both bullies in the early game and scale extremely well. You don't want to give Jax to Go-Going, because Go-Going is deadly on that Jax. On the red side, the standard bans, the standard support, Braum, standard Kayle ban, standard Kassadin. So really, this leaves IG to pick up anything that they want to, and you wonder if they will pick the Lulu or the Gragas here, but they also might consider going with Thresh or Twitch, because those are big priorities right now. And remember, Koreans in China right now are playing so well, but Youngsu hasn't really blown me away, and that's a problem, because towards the final games of the last LPL split, PDD really blew me away with his strong laning, with his carry champions. So in the event that Youngsu doesn't step up, you really have to question. Of course, PDD does have health problems, but you really have to question whether this is the correct pickup, given that Youngsu was a relative no-name back in Korea.
So now we get to look at the OMG side of the roster. So going for them, top lane going, jungle, Drug, and then the mid lane Cool coming back in, and then San and Cloud at AD carrying support.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud and San didn't play very well in their past few games. San's Twitch is better than his Lucian, but he performed adequately on Lucian. I really want to put the spotlight for a minute, however, on Cloud, because Cloud did replace Dada, and Dada replaced Pomelo, so even though Dada was here for a week, you really do have to compare whether Cloud is an upgrade over Pomelo, and at this point, not really, I have to say, because Cloud makes some really flagrant mistakes both in lane and in team fights. So Cloud, I don't know if he still is, but I think about a week ago, he was the ranked 1 player in China, and many thousands of people play the game in China, and he was ranked 1 in the challenger ladder. So obviously he's a very good support, but I hopefully we can see a little bit more out of him as he develops synergy with San. And then of course the strength of OMG has traditionally been its solo lanes in the jungle. Drug, formerly Allen, and World Elite, WE, in their previous 2 games. So OMG, if they really want to, showcase their dominance, showcase their strength that made them such a contender last split, then I think a 2-0 here is pretty critical. But it's going to be really hard against this Invictus Gaming team that, for the most part, has looked really good.
So we're looking over the picks, so we could probably go over the lineups for this one. So it's going to be Invictus Gaming, Youngsu, top lane, Illusion in the jungles, a tie mid with Kid and Kitties at AD carrying support.
Every member of this team has been performing very well. I think right now, the way some of the other mid laners are looking in China, Zitai is the best mid laner in China at this current point, and he is playing so well, really aggressively, and he and Illusions just synergize extremely well. They're always able to put pressure on in the opponent's jungle, always seem to be able to roam around the map, and they play exquisitely. We see Kid here. Kid has also been playing fairly well. He has picked Twitch for his last 3 games, so I believe all of his games in the LPL, and he has been playing as well as Kitties. They've been, even though their laning is just okay these days, I saw more last split, their team fighting is really on point. Kitties especially, when he gets Thresh, he's just dangerous, so look for them to try to prioritize that support pick. But I really want to go back to the top laner, Youngsu, because Youngsu, his most played champion, I believe so far, is that top Gragas, and he hasn't really... Well, maybe I might be judging him too harshly just because some of the other